So you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another conversation. The racism talk. The racism talk came about because of the death of George Floyd on the 25th of May 2020 this year, and we just discovered that not really discovering. Racism has always been there and always existed, but somehow the death of George Floyd just escalated, and everybody in the world started talking, and we had demonstrations all over the world. I do not know if you've ever experienced racism in any of its forms. It could be direct or again indirect. It could be maybe from your kids, your husbands. I do not know for your case, but for me, I know that being a student in Germany was never easy. And I have experienced tons and tons of racism. And there are diverse ways you can experience racism and even unconscious to you. Today, we are going to be talking about our experiences. So if you're online, let me know that you're online and invite your friends, ladies and gentlemen, and invite your friends, invite your brothers, share the links, and let us have a conversation. I have very special guests today, and I am sure that you will like the conversation with them. That's why I wanted to share the link so that we have some time to converse and talk. Welcome our very first guest, Leah Dittmer, and she says she's a dream chaser. Leah, you're welcome. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm
Good
good.
to
Thank you
see
so
you.
much.
It's such a privilege to share a platform with you.
Thank you.
And our other guest is Agnes Frulich. Agnes, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
I know whenever I talk with you, I'm so pleased and I'm glad. Thank you for honoring the invitation. And today we said we want to share our experiences. Have you ever experienced any racism at all, Leah?
So, first of all, for those who don't know me, my name is Alea Dittman, aka Dream Chaser. This is a new name I gave myself during the Corona time. It's very new.
A beautiful name for that matter, Dream Chaser. I mean, we should be chasing our dreams, right? Go on, Leah.
Yes, we should. Racism. First of all, thank you so much, Vera, for having me. We were talking the other day when I was driving, and I really felt in you and I felt in myself. It's nice now that you've chosen me. I don't take such chances for granted. Thank you so much for having me in your show. So,
Thank
about
you, and I
racism.
don't take it also for granted to have you. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I remember when we talked about racism, I first told you, I'm so sorry I've not experienced racism. Do you remember, Vera?
Yes, you told me.
Yes.
I
And
remember.
yeah, I told you,
And when
'cause
and when
I
you
don't like
said that,
yes.
I said to myself, well, I'm not sure, but I respect the point of view.
I know you don't. Yeah, because I don't like this topic, and I think it's because I've just turned to overlook it. But just sharing with my husband this yesterday, he reminded me of two incidents, and he said, Leah, I think that might have been racism in a very fine
Mm-hmm.
way. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
one of them is that one of the retailers at the metro. I shop there a lot. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a customer. I even do my food truck outside their building, like outside the market. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
there was this one guy. I was just about to pay my stuff. There were two people in front of me, and he happened to talk so much, and I never had enough time. And I thought, but he's wasting our time. I was getting like mad. They are conversing. He's not even checking and seeing there are people waiting. And when he got to me, he didn't even say hi to me. And I just remembered how he was laughing with the two who are ahead of me. And I thought, is this right? I started shaking, why didn't he even first say hi? He just started scanning my stuff. I said, excuse me, I have two different stuff. Because at the metro, when you shop, when I take my private stuff, I get a different
Mm-hmm.
receipt with the company stuff. So I said, I would like to have two different
Mm-hmm.
receipts, but I'm going to pay the stuff. I think this guy has a problem with me. So I chilled. He scanned the stuff that was private, and then he went to the business stuff. And as he was scanning, he happened to scan one thing twice. And I saw it. So I waited for him to finish. I said, first of all, you are very
Mm-hmm.
unfriendly to me. You never said hi to me, but you did it to the other. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
this is not right. So I Second of all, you sign something twice. He said in German, like, I'm done. If there's anything you need to go to the Kassenaufsicht, you need to go to the info. Then yeah, no, I don't know. I think I'm hard. People say that I'm very strong, but I'm also very emotional. I almost cried and I told God, help me. I can't cry in this place. These people know me as a strong woman. And I told the lady, I don't know about the Kasse number 5, but that guy is not right. He talked to the others who are white. I had to think about color this time, what I really don't like. But when he got to me, it was like way too fast. And she was like, we know about him. We already got to other incidents. So I was safe. What I like most about it is that I went to them and spoke about it. Like, I'm not happy. He treated me like, and that is one of the cases. The second case is at the river.
We are going to come to the second cases. We are going to have a very good conversation. While waiting. So don't give me all the cases now. So we have people who are going to be coming to listen to all your stories. I am very excited to have you here, and we're going to be discussing how we overcame our direct or indirect racism, or again discrimination, whatever we call it. But we want to also find out, give some tips to victims or to the oppressed, but most especially, it would be good to just give a word to someone you think, if a racist was before you and you knew this is a racist, what would you actually do? Because we see them all the time, right? So let me welcome Agnes. Agnes, you're welcome. Now it's business, my friend.
Well, I'm Agnes, like you said, Agnes Kimathi Fröhlich. I'm Kenyan. I live in Germany 22 years now. Someone would say I become German, but inside my heart, I realize I'm even more and more Kenyan inside. Yeah. Yeah. But I am a foster mom, I'm adoptive mom, and I also am a saleswoman or have my Afro shop. So I juggle all these things together. And of course, when you have so much to do, you always get in touch with such people who don't like you because of your color, people who don't like you because of the number of children, because I have raised 5 children. And for many, when you have 3 children already, you are ASI, what they call So I have experienced a lot of all that in different places, in institutions, in the bus, at the shop, everywhere, actually. Yeah. But you learn.
You learn. Today it was purposeful. I really wanted to have women who are doing their own things on their own, and I wanted the conversation to be a kind of healing conversation. That's why for me it was important to find women who are having their businesses, they are self-employed, so that we can look if there's a difference. Doesn't even make any difference if I'm self-employed, if I'm working for somebody. How do I manage these things? So let us welcome first, ladies and gentlemen. We're having some people already watching online, and you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're having dynamic women business owners in the house, and they are going to be sharing, or we are going to be sharing, our direct or indirect experiences with racism. But our intention is to heal ourselves, and of course to empower also those out there who maybe have gone through and they are sitting in their homes and like asking the question, is this racism? What was this? And maybe to just give a word to someone that could be a racist. I really don't even know how a racist look like, but I wish if I had a few in front of me, and I'm sure that they're going to definitely listen to the video after this, and when they listen to the video after this, that they have a message. Let's hear from you, Leah. So tell us now about how you overcame that subtle kind of discrimination or racism, because that was a subtle one, and usually we really hardly see that it is racism. How did you overcome your challenges in racism?
This one at the metro or in general?
The one at the metro in general. You go on.
Okay, at the metro, I just went to them and talked and said I found myself not so, like I was feeling bad because whoever was ahead of me was treated differently from me. The one that I would like to talk about was about my son. He broke his arm, my younger son. He was about 3 years. He broke his arm. He was in kindergarten, and he stayed home for almost 9 months. So when he went back to kindergarten, the boss was like, Simon is not doing well, we need to do more. And he pees on himself when he goes to the sports room. And I kind of got concerned. And I said, I mean, after 9 months, what do you expect? That was his right hand. He needs some time to heal, to even practice,
Exactly.
you know. And I let it be. After 6 months, she kept telling me the same thing. Simon can't try it. According to his age, he's supposed to be doing some simple stuff. But what used to irritate me was this about wetting himself whenever he went in. Because I told Simon, you don't use diapers. You don't even wet your bed in the night. What happens when you go to kindergarten? That every time he says to me that you wet yourself, because every time he used to get very embarrassed. And I used to I don't know, that was a very hard moment to me. And I called him one time. I said, Sai, we are going to have lunch together. It was on a Saturday. We eat together, and I would like you to just tell me a few things. What really happens in kindergarten when you do sports? Why do you wet yourself? And he told me, let me tell you the truth. Normally, we are not allowed to use the toilet. And Carrie knows that I do it a lot of times. There are kids who go to the toilet a little bit more than others. We are different. Everybody is unique in his way. And unfortunately, the sports door is very heavy. I'm not usually able to open the door by myself. So I end up peeing. He usually responds to the last minute. So he never usually has a lot of puffer in between. So I said, Sai, thank you so much for telling me this, because I suspected there was something. So on Monday, I was waiting to go to kindergarten with a lot of power, you know, like to say, this is not true. I told you, I warned you, my son doesn't do this. She lived in the States for about 20 years. So she knows about black. In America, there are a lot of black people. But I thought, why can't you just consider my son being black? You know, black people in the States, why you make his case so special in front of other people when you're wet, you know? And this time I went there, I did not want to go to the office. We had to speak it in the public. So where I got her, I talked to her at that very point. I said, in German, she speaks English, but I had to speak in German for other kids to hear and the others to hear. I said, it's not right. We have to go to the sports room. I want to open the door by myself. That door is heavy. I mean, you know, and I was so happy that I did this. I called my husband, because normally when my husband goes in such places, he's like, it's okay, it's fine. You know, he doesn't like drama. But it's not about drama, it's about the future of our baby, you know?
Of course.
And I went there with a lot of vigor, a lot of drama. And I'm happy that I did it, because she realized, she said, oh, Simon, why didn't you ever tell me? I said, but you should know that the door is heavy and not the kid.
Yes.
Simon is way too small. And since then, I never had that my kid was wet again. She never complained that my son doesn't write well. He was injured. He needed time to recover.
Yes. Yes.
So with the kindergarten, I want
Go on, Leah.
Yes?
Go on, ma'am. Sorry for interrupting.
No, for the kindergarten, I'm not by myself. Like, I went straight and talked to them and let them know it's not like that. Like, I didn't put it like it's racism, but I thought maybe it was slightly, I don't know. There was something fishy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't put it like it was racism, but you spoke your mind. So I think that the courage to be able to say these things is so important, and to really be straight to the point, right? We'll come back to you, Liam. Let's hear from Agnes. Agnes, you have brought 5 kids here, and you're taking care of them. They are now like almost young adults, and you own your own business. How is it like to be a German Kenyan with diverse foster kids? I always say I'm going to talk specially on your family, because in your family, I'm seeing the whole world in your home. How is it like to manage this kind of a family and a setting?
Well, it was for me.
Maybe your setting, because I think Leah now is like looking at me. What kind of setting? Maybe you explain your setting of home, because it's so important to let us know that.
Yeah, as my children are, I have one adopted daughter. She's completely Kenyan. I have 3 foster kids. One is Nigerian, half Kenyan, half German, I mean, and then I have 2 completely German. Blonde and blue eyes, and then I have my own biological, and he's also mixed, so half Kenyan, half German. That's what Vera is always saying about the whole world in my house. Well,
Yes,
it's
you know, the whole world is
Yeah.
in this lady's home. And each
Oh,
time I go to her place, I'm like, God, we must have to write a story on this. We have to
amen.
have a real discussion on this and how you get to manage this diversity. So
yeah.
tell us more about your own case, please.
Well, I'm a person who likes to take things easy. I always want to have a big family. So for me, it was not funny now when people saw me with my whole group of children on the way. But this started very early that some people would say, they are all not yours, or, and then I would say, yeah, they are mine. Nature gets crazy sometimes, and then they would just leave me at peace because I didn't want to have to explain in the bus or in the park about my children or about their
Mm,
stories. So those
mhm.
are things where you realize, oh, it's not taken care of easily, Or sometimes if they saw the white children with me, and my children started saying mommy to me from the very beginning. So you would see the question marks on their like,
Mm.
how can that be? If it's a white person having a black child, for them it's natural that this
Adoption.
child is being helped by the white person. But the other way
Yes.
around, it's very hard for the people to accept. So
Mhm.
you could always see the question marks. How can that be? But I got used to it. And my children, I think they also enjoyed that, those question marks, because in the bus, they would just scream, Mama, this and that, So I think they really enjoyed it. So we had an easy time when we were alone. But in schools, I realized there was a big difference. Schools, how they would deal with the situation of us being a migrant, and then pflege or foster children. And then
Mhm.
how can that work? It cannot work. This
Mhm. Mhm.
this prejudging.
Yes, prejudgments.
I
Mhm.
experienced that a lot in schools, and I really
Mhm.
had to sit up and deal with the case. I had to be objective all the time. I could not allow my feelings all the time, but to be objective and be very watchful when they were talking to me.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
how objective were you to handle all these situations? All the
Well,
diverse challenges that you experience being first a foster mother, there's a black foster mother, which is not that very common, and then you have your intercultural children with one Kenyan, one German, and your own children too, and they are going to almost the same school. How was it with them in the
Sure.
school? Did you experience such things, and how did you manage it?
okay, I had to realize and accept it that my children will be treated different. It's funny enough, I never thought it would be a problem, but I realized that my white children would be treated better than my mixed children or the dark
Oh.
children. It was very strange for me. And I realized I had to be more watchful what they suggest for my black children and what they don't do, what could be done. So, like, if they would suggest something that I thought is not necessary, then I would stand my ground and say it's not necessary. Or if they would suggest something that I needs to be done, but they just want to brush it off, then I would stand my ground and say, no, this one needs to be done, and then push it off. I really had you need a thicker skin somehow, especially the roundtable meetings.
Mhm.
Everything that was going wrong, and if my husband would be there, they would be looking at me for all the things that are going wrong, and
Oh
I had to.
no.
Yeah, it was a lot of struggle. They did it
Mhm.
automatically, and you have to stand your ground and just be objective. That's what I said. You cannot allow your feelings there. You have to sort out. And I was thinking, how about the parents who don't speak German? How do they survive this? Because you come here and already they have a whole catalog of things that they know are not going to be right with you because you're black. You
Mm.
have a migrant
Mm.
background, and these children, they call foster children problem children, which I
Mhm.
find very mean, because these children did not choose to be in their situation. They did not
Mm.
Of course.
not live with their
Mm.
parents. So
Mhm.
but they are already prejudged that they have a problem, they have a failure. And the funny thing is that this judging, it was more on the darker children than the white children.
Mm.
It's so funny. I experienced that a lot, and I was like, these are children who have made almost the same experiences, but the color is the determining factor here. I
Mm.
experienced that
That's
a lot.
true.
Mm.
You remember at some time when I visited you, I always looked at the kids and I was always wondering, goodness, I would like to know how I would like to see them also in the future to see if your influence, I mean, as a mother to German children, to Kenyan children, and to both German and Kenyan children, if they have the same influence. But I realized that it wasn't actually the case. So they really had also the same challenge, especially those with darker skin. And then I wondered, have you ever seen this there was a doll, young kids were given these dolls. I don't know, Leah, have you watched that before? Where young
About
kids
the
were
black and
given
the white.
the black and the white dolls,
Mhm.
and even the black kids were like, oh, they love the white dolls.
Yeah,
Have you ever watched that?
yeah,
So Abdul Rahima is one of us. Also, he said, when you consistently hear that it is not good, you internalize it
yeah.
unconsciously that you too, you are not good. And that's why, yes, the more darker you are, the more you feel like you're not beautiful. But that is a lie, right? And what makes me sad the more is the fact that, they tell you you have thick lips, but they want to have thick lips, so they go get bulldogs too. What do they call those their things to have these thick lips? They tell you have they keep fighting what they actually want. I remember my son was going to go to the primary school, and in Germany or where we were, it is like if you are there, you have to go to school there where you live, right? So
Mhm.
especially at the primary level, this woman, there was a lady, they called them whatever name they give them, they come to the kindergarten to check the kid. Please take notes, they do that just once or twice a year. So for goodness sake, how can you examine a child once a year and determine from that one painting and coloring, one Monday morning you come, maybe the child is not even feeling well, and you determine that child can't go to school? So I wasn't even conscious about that. So the day for for registration, I said, let me go. I went to work. I just finished my studies as a social worker. So I went to work, and I told my husband, okay, today people are going for registration, so take our kid along and register him. So the guy called me at my work, and the guy is calling me. They said they won't get your child in school. And I'm like, what? What's happening? He said, when you get back home, they will talk about it. So I got home, and then they said he has to do a particular test. So I went to school and I asked the teacher, excuse me, why didn't you talk about this test during the whatever? So why on the day you're telling me he can't go to school? I mean, who gives you that right? And then she tells me, yeah, wir können ihm jetzt, der gehört nicht zu unserer Schule. Das war das Wort. He doesn't belong to our school. I looked at that lady. If it was, I don't know, if it was, if you were not emotionally strong, you will first of all give her a punch before you realize that you've given a punch. So then I told her I'm going to, if I'm giving her 2 days to think about it, and I'm not going to take my child nowhere else. My child is going to come to the school. And then she said, then, okay, then your child has to write a test. I wanted to, first of all, dispute the test. And I said, you know what, Vera, there's no need fighting this fight. Let him do the test. So he did the test, and then she comes to me outside and said, yeah, I think that he can take he can come to school, but he will have it difficult. Then I said, then let that be my own problem, not yours, right? So when he started school, this lady, I just can't forget. I always knew it was racism, but I didn't want to call the name. So when we had the parents talk, I'm also very diplomatic in some of these things. So I told her, I said, I don't think that there is racism in this school, because I know that the people that are in this school are very smart teachers. So I'm very sure they can't be racist, because, like in Esslingen, we are having, like 30% migrants. So I go from the point of view that we are already used to migrants, so we just can't be racist. So I'm just saying it because I know that you're not racist. And then I kept explaining my point. And then, I passed my message without telling her she was racist, right? And then in the course of the discussion, then she said, but for someone, I'm really surprised positively. Your boy is really doing well. And I'm looking at her. I said, I knew that he's going to be a good guy. But, I didn't like I said, I'm very convinced that in this school, we have good teachers who are conscious of the lives of the people they have in their hands. We have to actually be very, very, we really have to know how to pass this message in a bold way, but also know how to overcome the challenges, because at the end of the day, it's about our kids as well, right?
Yeah.
What helped you, Leah? What helped you overcome, the pains, especially for our kids? For my case, I don't think that we have the challenge. It's true, but I usually think that as Africans who have gone through a lot of challenges, we tend to ignore even this a lot. So we think that, okay, I can overcome this because of the resilient spirit that we have carried. But our kids are not resilient. How do you get along when you see your child going through all these pains?
I think it's going to be a very long journey, because I'm over 40 and there are things that I see. Resilience is the word. I think I've learned how to work with it. And I try to teach my kids every day, and like to show them they're unique, tell them they're unique. Like when you meet a kid, like in the winter time, my kids don't need beanies, like the hair is too thick. I remember a time when one of the kids told my son that you have hair like a sheep. And my son came home. Yes. My son came home crying, and I asked him, why are you crying? Amani, I don't know, I could say maybe it's true because sheep has so much hair, but look at it positively. That's kinky hair, it's so expensive. You don't have to wear fake hair. And you don't need a beanie. They need one to keep them warm. You don't need anything. And this is the way that God created you. He just chose this perfect look for you. So just look at it, look away, and always tell them that what you see positive in your hair. They have very thin hair. Like whoever was telling him this, it's a boy that today they are very good friends. I had to go approach the boy. Personally, I never went to the teacher because in the school, they call me the drama queen. I am. For my kids, I fight to the last second. Yes, I do. It's funny because you can see normally I carry one earring. I like it like this, especially when I go where my kids are like known. I like it where people take me to be special. I usually look for this one thing that will make me look different. I know I'm different already, but I try to add a bit on it to show you that I know that I'm different. So when I go to the school, they know. So I thought this day I'll not make drama with the teacher. I'll go straight to the kid who keeps telling this to my son. I took him to the side and I told him, you're not going to tell my son that he has hair like a sheep again. Did you hear me? And if I do, I didn't finish. I left. And my son came home. He was like, Mommy, actually, after that, he was pretty kind to me. And I told her, Mommy, allow me sometimes to talk to these people directly because my kids don't like, they say, Mommy, I want to tell you something, but please don't come to school. I say, I have to land there. I have to come. They need to know. Because if I don't tell them today, it will affect you when you are 30, when you're...
That's it. It will affect you when you're 30.
Things we don't do Halloween. Yeah, them know that we don't do this, and that's the way we are. God will fight your way. I think God is also God is a pillar in this home because a lot of things we refer to God, and this makes us unique. Everybody is just unique in his own way. Yeah. I think this has helped them a lot. Facing the people directly, that's who I feel is against either my color or my look, my different look. I try as much as I can to speak to them as individuals. If it's in the company, unfortunately, I never felt it. I think they even admired me, like, you're so soft, you're so beautiful, you don't get sunburns. They saw the positive side. But for the kids, I think I've learned to deal with it directly and to have a round table with my boys and just let them know it will not always be the same for you like other kids.
Yeah, I like the idea with the round table. That has been a very powerful instrument. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
That we
know,
do a lot of times. Like, what do you find in school that you don't like? Yeah.
yes, round table is a very good way to communicate these things on a weekly basis with our kids, right? Mm. When you
Yeah,
were talking,
yeah, it is.
when you were talking, I remember some incidents. But before I remember, let me get back to Agnes. Agnes, what helped you? Who helped you overcome these things, and how do you feel when your kids are really going through these things? And usually they're unconscious to them. I have the impression, right? To some of
Yeah.
them.
What helped me is to face the reality. It helps to face the
Mm-hmm.
reality because some of us we come here, we think Germany is a civilized country, is a democratic country. People must understand actually there's no difference between human beings. But you go there and you find it in an institution, in
Yeah,
kindergarten. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
child is still so early in the world, and someone is already judging the child because of his color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my
Mm-hmm.
one son, my one son really had difficult times because he's loud and he has just too much energy. And there we
Mm-hmm.
had to remind them this is a small child. He's 3 years, just like the other children. You know,
Mm-hmm.
help to be able to talk. I had to grow strong to talk because I'm also diplomatic in a way, and I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be peaceful, you want to treat people nice and all that. But you know, when it's about your child, you become a lioness. You know, you become
yeah,
you
yeah.
cannot just keep peace. You cannot be a lamb all the time. You have sometimes to just face the bull and hold the horns and say, "Look, you're not going to kill my child. He's my child." You have to really open your eyes. So I had to do that in several places. I had to face the reality and I had to talk with my children the truth. Now, the difference is
Yeah,
sometimes my husband thought I'm exaggerating it, but I said,
Mm-hmm.
since you are white, you cannot feel what I feel. You
yeah,
cannot see
Yes.
that, what I'm seeing. You cannot feel it that way. I know you are his father. You don't want him to have problems and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking, but I am black. I know how that feels. So I had
Mm-hmm.
also sometimes to stand also in front and say, identify with my child because funny
Mm-hmm.
enough my white children didn't have so much stress even if they had the worst grades no one made
Mm-hmm.
noise but my dark ones if they had just maybe a 3 or a 4 there was always like a world war in the school and already being judged and told you will not be this you will not be this was not an easy situation for them so I learned to face the reality that is a
Mm-hmm.
very important step also for every parent we cannot assume we are in Germany, everything is cool, everything is good. It's not. And we have
yeah,
to learn, like Leah said, we have to learn to talk to our children. Some of us, we are too busy hustling and making ends meet that we forget to talk to the soul of our children. Our
Yeah.
children, if they get scared in school and the teachers and the world out there, they need to have a safe haven at home where they can talk even about these issues. Some of them
Yeah.
are scared to talk because no one is listening anyway. We
Yeah.
sure we
that's
shake them, wake up, go to school, pack your things, have the best grades, but we need to
Mm-hmm.
talk to them. We need to be able to talk with them. We need to
Mm-hmm.
be able to tell to hear them, to hear their soul as well. Not
Mm-hmm.
only look at the grades. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
think Leah want to say something to that on that too, Leah. I see you nodding your head. So you want to say something?
no, it's catching me because she's saying you need to talk to the soul of your child. That's very true because that's what
Mm-hmm.
that I'm just like nodding, like giving in that what she's saying is really true. Because I think once it's deep and it's in them, they can reflect it. They'll not take everything that they are told like personal. I'm just nodding to what she's saying because I'm also learning from her.
Of
Yeah.
course, we're here to learn, right? We're
Well,
here to heal. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I'm seeing Mercy is here, and Mercy is appreciating you. And I think we can share some of the conversations. An international house of actors, foolish. You are a strong, courageous woman. We need more of your kind. Yes, that is true. Messi, you're welcome. Messi, thanks for being here. We are also having, of course, some people who are asking why all the powerful women having German names, and Charity is saying that it is marital name. But I already responded and said it is their name, so I don't really. It doesn't matter if it is Marita or not Marita. I think it is their name. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to our conversation. Today we are talking about racism, and we are sharing our experiences. Um, we are sharing our experiences. That's why Charity responded, right? That it is their marital name. Today we are sharing our experiences, and we're learning from one another. Remember, the space, Racism Talk, is a space where we exchange, we vent at times if we want to vent, but we also heal ourselves, because I think that exchanging also makes us understand we are not the only ones in these challenges, and then we also get to heal, and then we get empowered and empower other people too. Before we continue, I wanted to say something on soul, because Agnes, you spoke about the touching the souls of these young people, and we are all hustlers here in Germany. Usually, we forget this very, very important aspect of the life of the children. And I think that's why we have to be very conscious and purposeful in having these roundtable conversations at least once a week, so that you know that at least once a week you have your conversation with your kids, and it helps them. In one of these conversations, I have mine with my kids on a daily basis through our morning devotions and all that. And in one of our conversations, I told my daughter, I don't know why that particular day, but somehow got up that day and I said, you know what? You are a living lebendige Seele, okay? You're a living soul, no? Is that so? Living guys, spirit. And then I said, and you know, spirits have no color, they have no age, they have no gender. And so go out there and be your you. You are special
Mhm.
needs, your royalty. You know, I was just praising all of them, both of them. But you know, my girl, I think she's like me. She gets it, get absorbing in her mind, and she believes it, and she can go get doing it. So she went to school this day. One of these young guys just came to her and then said, "I look at your skin. You have a dirty skin." You know, she turned and looked at the young man. I said, no, no, no. Spirits don't have color. They have no skin color. They have no age, and they have no gender. And you know, the way she said things, and then she came back and told me, Mama, you needed to be there to see him run as though a true spirit. You needed to be there to see him run as though a true spirit. I thought I was a spirit, you know. And but this takes me to how we can empower our kids. How can we really empower our children? Because, like I said, now, like the conversation we had, Leah, we already are resilient somehow. We have that strength because of our challenges, because of whatever we have gone through in life. But this is their country. They are born here. They speak the German language. They eat the German food. They go to the German schools. They have German friends. But somehow they still look them different. How can we empower our children to understand that they are uniquely and wonderfully created for glory, so that this thing doesn't affect them? Any of you can answer. So, Agnes, you can go on. Olia, you can go on. So, how do
Uh,
we empower our young people? How did you manage to empower your young children?
my children, I talked a lot about them. I talked
I mean,
about the nice
that with the round table,
things.
just as I'm saying.
So who's starting? Sorry, sorry.
You say, you
Um,
continue.
yeah, okay.
I'm mixed.
I talked about the positive things. You know, I'm a musician too, and
Oh,
one of my kids is also very musical, and he loves singing. He's perfect in drumming. So I try to strengthen them in areas where they are very good, and also to make them realize how many people of his color are good in that what he can. Even talking about his origin and how many powerful people are there, and it doesn't matter what the others tell him that he is not. He should know he's a special person. Yeah, like I said, this is like caressing the soul. This is for me very important because that's the beginning of everything. You have to talk to
Yes.
them so that they see themselves, they reflect and
Mhm.
see themselves, and then they'll start seeing what they can do well. You know, sometimes we make mistakes that we talk to the children more about what they can't.
Yes.
I mean, that's a more difficult journey than talking, like touching the soul of the child with what they can do well. You should face it sometimes when you talk to something positive. We are mothers, we know what that does to the children. So I think this is the best to deal with it, even to make them strong out there. And I told my children, you know, if someone tells you you can't do this or that, they must have got, must be good in something. So they want to feel better. They have a problem. They want to feel better. That's why they tell you are this and this and this, because they can't have what you have. So when they come to you with such funny things, no, he is having a problem or she is having a problem, not you. Yeah, so I focus on making them positive, to think positive about themselves. Of course, I didn't do everything perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, but we have also to create that strong tower in our child, in our children, so that whatever comes shaking, it comes only on the surface, not the deep. Because the deep is already safe and secure. You've already built walls. You've already made it so strong. It just bounces back, you know. So, and I've seen that a lot in my children, you know. It's really a blessing when the children realize you value them, despite what the world out there think. It makes them strong, because we know this society is not easy. This society is not easy. For us grown-ups, we know so imagine for our children. And the only thing we can do is we cannot take away the dangers out there, but we can strengthen them, build that strong power in them.
Oh, thank you. We can strengthen them. We can build that strength in them. We can give them this positive energy. We can empower them in diverse ways. You can use their gifts also to empower them, but most especially touch their soul so that they know that they're important. Thank you. Those were very, very important points. Leah, what do you say? How do we empower our kids in a way that they get out of this situation strong, powerful?
Oh, for the kids, I think I have nothing else to say. Maybe I can just try to speak to somebody out there, how they can, like, I don't know, like grown-ups, because for the kids, I don't know. I've not faced a lot. Maybe, I don't know. I think for the few that I've said, I think that's it. What I'm trying to encourage my kids today is that, you know that I do African. Just a second, I'm very sorry. I have to do something.
No problem.
I have to tell my husband because he's doing something and I can't mute my microphone. I'm so sorry. I do African stuff.
He's also welcome, so he can also join us on the conversation. I would really like to have his own point of view as the other side. Thank him for being there. No problem.
Yes. You know, I'm planning to buy a bell, so it will be ringing on the other side. So when I ring, they need to know they're loud, because every time I'm so sorry. But what I'm trying to say is I do African stuff. I do African, and I realize that my kids are getting into something that I would not like them to be. I don't like my kids to be this thing that this is what kids are doing in school. This is the fashion line. This is what they need to wear. So what I did, I bought them stuff. I came, if it was a Nike, I put an African thing on the Nike. I took an African garment and I closed the Nike. I did it for like 3 months and they were pissed off. They were like, Mommy, you're not doing this. And I told them, I would like you to know you are special. When you know this, you're going to face the world differently. You understand? Because there's no need you want to look like them, yet you're different. Be different. Even amongst other Africans, I choose myself to be different because everybody's different. I had her story, Agnes. That's inspiring. I need to call you and hear more of your story. I'm so inspired. Vera, whatever you are doing is special. We are all special in different ways. Here comes only the color thing, that the kids are different in this way because the darker others are white. It doesn't matter. But what I would like to tell out there, other Africans who are facing racism, in whatever you are doing, do it to your best. Display your best, you know? Because I think, I don't know if today, I think Vera, you got the word, resilience. It's it. I don't know if somebody could do something today to me that I would feel hurt. Be it on the highway, you know, there are times before you want to go in, when they see you are black, they leave and drive. If it was a white, my husband got priority than I did. But today, I think I wouldn't look at it. I would just say in everything you are doing, be the best. Remember, you are different. You'll never change. This color can never change. Actually, I'm loving it in the summer because when we're on holiday, I see how people are on the sun. It's hurting, but they would like to. Yeah. So, and and it's so natural, so smooth, so moisturized, so beautiful. And every day I'm just appreciating what I have. And when you have it from the inside, just as Agnes has said, speak to the soul of your kids. Even we as grown-ups, speak to the soul of yourself and tell yourself, I'm special, I'm beautiful, I'm different. When you do this, you don't need to tell them. When I enter the supermarket, they know there is an African lady over there and she's different. Yes.
I love
Oh,
that.
yes. So
I
when
love
someone tells you you're beautiful, you say, no, I know I'm beautiful. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I try not to, but I know that they can see. We need to talk this, but when we get down, we are dark, and then we get smaller, we get more darker and more
Yes.
smaller. They are going to hit us. We need to wake up and say, no, you're not right. You said good morning to her. Why I never pay at any supermarket before I'm greeting the other one. If she didn't, then it's okay. I'll not, it's okay. But if she does, I always wait and then she can start scanning my things. Not I come to pay and all she's doing is to throw my things I should pay and go. No. Just like the other person, I need my time. Let them know that you know who you are. They will respect you.
That is to know who you
That's
are.
my motto.
And it goes back to getting to know your identity and getting to really be happy with yourself, recognizing the goddess in you and the God in you and the beauty in you. Like Mandela was it Mandela? Martin Luther once said, "Hey, you're beautiful, brave, courageous, and intelligent." Now we have Wambo Wetu, who says the Black community needs to create a safe space too for them to open up. That is very true. As a social worker, I work too with a lot of different projects, and we are also creating a safe space with young people also, and to discuss these diverse challenges. And but the challenge we have also with some of the young people is the fact that they do not even realize that it is racism. That's a danger. So we had one conversation with Maria Kaina, who said, how does a child explain the disgust in your eyes towards him or towards her? It's so difficult, So, yes, Wambo, you're very correct. We really need a safe space. And yes, this is also a safe space, a kind of a safe space where we can talk to ourselves, laugh over these things, and then make the people understand we know who we are. And now we have to also help our kids get to know who they are. And then we are also having Jerry Kramer, who says acknowledging your blackness is self-empowerment. I mean, this is the best thing I have heard now. Acknowledging it, because the thing is, I mean, when I read about the definition of Negro, I almost got mad in my mind. I was like, these people are not correct in their mind. They must be insane. So they actually want what I have, but they choose to put it so little so that you feel like it is not important. And so look at my lips. I have thick lips, and I love my thick lips. And they say that thick lips is so beautiful, yet they go pay a lot of money to have thick lips. I mean, can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? I mean, they see we have very good shapes, and then they will complain that, oh, African women are like that and like that, yet they want to go buy for that. So actually it's like we have to really acknowledge our blackness and be proud of it, and of course tell it more again to our kids. And we have Michael Matuburo. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. He says thank you all for sharing your stories, and I'm very sure that we have lots of these beautiful stories. And we have also Mercy again. Mercy is also one of the amazing women doing a lot of good stuff to around. I think she also has a talk show where she has a conversation on a weekly basis. And she says that, Leah, I will send you a bell. You ladies are doing a good job. Mercy, we know you're doing a very good job. Thank you, Mercy, for being here. and we also appreciate you. We know you're doing a great job. We are here to heal. We are here to vent. We are here to heal. And we are here to laugh about these things. But let's take a short break and ask the question. If a racist was before you indeed, what would you do to him? What would you tell him? Or what would you do? Agnes, I begin with you. I mean, you've experienced it, you've seen them, but now they're before you, and you have one last chance with all the power. You have all the powers, all the authority, everything that you want. You have to be able to establish a just society. What would you tell them?
Oh, that's difficult because along the fact that you know that this person doesn't like you because you're dark, this is hard. I mean, it's a very emotional situation. So I would try to stay calm and not go after his neck. I mean, and try to talk with the person if he is willing to talk. If not, then sometimes you just have to remind him, you are human, I am human. If you cut my skin and I cut yours, the blood is red. So nothing makes him special, more special than me. I'll remind that person, when you die, you die like me. When you go to the toilet, sorry, it stinks like
You got to go and say that.
Sorry, there's so many things I can tell that person at that moment. I know many of them don't even want to hear you talk. So I would just say what I can and leave him, because most of them you cannot discuss with them. They're not willing to listen. They cannot do a dialogue. Most of them not.
Leah, thank you. Agnes, Leah, what would you tell them?
That's a very hard question. I was very glad that you started with Agnes because I didn't know what to say. And just as she said, it's very hard. But I think I faced a racist. Now it came into my mind. 2 weeks ago, there is a guy who, that was my last time at the metro. And there's this guy who happens to come. I was there for almost 9 weeks, every Saturday, every Friday and Saturday. And every time he came, he was like, your music is too loud. Can you put it down? But it was not loud. And this second last time, I thought, this guy hates me. I think he just can't take it that I'm here. So I was lucky to have another Kenyan lady who said, Leah, this is a racist. He cannot stand you. He hates you. The way he's talking to you, he hates you. And I remember I told him, I'm paying tax just as you're paying. I'm human. And my mommy gave birth to me. I was not like, my mama never fat me, you know, like air. I never passed by mistake. She went through labor to get me, just like your mother. And I'm human. Respect me. Or I called the boss. I threatened him with the boss, and he just walked away. But I think if I faced a racist, I would be, first of all, be very careful, because some of them are very daring, know that they harm you. But if they give you a chance, because most of them, when they realize that you've realized they are racist, they walk away. They don't wait for you to talk.
Yes.
So it's either you walk behind them and talk all the words you want to talk. It will be nice. Follow them if they give you a chance, but if they don't give you a chance, I think it will be nice to speak it out that it leaves you. Because these are the things that we accumulate before we realize it. We are very tiny. Yeah. And within no time, we are nobody in the society, yet we are supposed to stand out. I think the best is to speak out if you have a chance. And if you don't, if there's management, maybe report the issue. If you are really sure that that was racism, report the issue. And otherwise, let it leave you. When it leaves you, you're good. The best thing to do is just don't let it bring you down, because you'll never change your skin. And if you try to change it, you bleach, then you know the consequences. Before you realize it, you are not black, you are not white, you are in between, you are a nobody, you are confused.
Yes, you're confused. And Maria Kaina is always having something. I love to also have always a conversation with this woman, very powerful woman. Maria Kaina says, I will tell a racist that I don't negotiate with criminals. I love this lady, you know.
A good one.
He says, I tell a racist I don't negotiate with criminals. But indeed they are criminals, you know. When we look at it again in a very deep way, they are criminals, you know. And so, and Maria says, no, I don't negotiate with criminals. Oh, I love to talk with Maria. And the time is almost gone. What would you tell, let's say, a victim? Now we have spoken to the racist, and Maria says, "I like this, Maria. Thank you for always being here, and thank you for the great job." Maria is also having a YouTube page, and she's doing an amazing job to encourage the
Mhm.
diaspora. So let us also support her and check her YouTube page. Her name is there, Maria Kaina, and she does an amazing job. We are here to support one another. Do not forget, ladies, to say what you're also doing. And if someone is there who wants to buy your product, they can get to know where you are. And Jerry Kramer says racist people are very weak and see us when we stand up on them. We can no longer waste our energy with them. That is so true. We really
Yeah.
can waste our energy with them. And Charity Warimo is going to be taking one of the programs coming up also from the 26th of August, and she's going to be
Mhm.
helping. Let's Help is a wonderful talk show program, but it's also going to be helping the different people with their different problems. And Charity says it is so lovely to hear you all great supportive moms. Thank you so much, Charity, for always
Thank
being there.
you.
Um, and I welcome. Oh, Mercy wrote a very long, nice, beautiful stuff. Let me see if I can read from here. If I put it here, it will close your faces, and I don't want your faces to be closed. So that's why I will read it from here. When I was doing my social year, our group leader decided to show a Kenyan video of Nairobi that was really outdated. I did not even recognize the place myself. So I had a self talk and I got very mad. So I watched the film with their colleagues to the end. When they asked me what I thought at the end of the film, I told them, "How do you feel about Hitler?"
Ah,
About
that's a
Hitler's the fact that he has assassinated so many people. They all shut up, shut up and asked me how Nairobi currently looks like. I mean, this is a
oh,
powerful one. I would really love to put it on, and that's it. I really appreciate your conversation, ladies. You're also powerful. Thank you for being here. Do you have any last words for the mothers listening to you and they are feeling like I'm going through this thing, or my son or my daughter is going through this? What would you say, Agnes?
My phone will go off soon, but I would say know your rights.
Know your rights. Know your rights. Thank you, my Leah, Agnes, please. Sorry. Thank you for being here, and thank you that you took your time for
mhm.
this. Leah, what would you tell a mother listening to you now? And yeah, as she's listening, I'm saying, I have the impression my son is really going through this, or my daughter, or my kid. What would you tell them?
Make your kid your best friend. I hope that you mother or you daddy are strong enough to be able to like help your kids because they need you. There is nobody who can like mentor my kid better than me being the African, me being the mother or the daddy. Be
Mm-hmm.
strong.
Mm-hmm.
Being black is not it's not by mistake. God loved it
Mm-hmm.
that you be the way that you are. Remember you are special. Just stand up, shine, voice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't keep everything to yourself. Try to speak out whenever things are not right for you. And
Mm-hmm.
within no time you realize that you're just enjoying the goodness because there's so much to enjoy. And when you just look at it like I'm black, you'll never get to enjoy. You'll never get,
Mm-hmm.
these people will go always, they're the ones swimming out there and you are in there with
Mm-hmm.
the heat, just afraid to go. What will they think about me? I'm black. You're not going to change the fact that you're black, but you can change the
Mm-hmm.
way that you think. And this is what you need to do. Work with your mindset, think right, and move.
Think right, and this is so powerful. And I think that Maria also got something. She says, yes, we have to teach us that we are special, but it is not more important to teach these races that we don't need to be special to be equal. We can't only work on the victim, we must work on those perpetuating the crime and this crime. And yes, thank you, Maria, for being here. I think that we again come back to the fact that we have to empower ourselves, empower, know our history, know our identity, and speak to us. So thank you, Leah, for being here today. Ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen,
so
thank
much.
you. Do you have a thank you, Leah? We stay on, Leah. I'm coming back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. It has been a very nice conversation with these beautiful ladies and very powerful ladies, dynamic ladies, doing amazing work also in the community. And of course, I have been Vera Sampon, your host on the conversation Racism Talk. Get your knee off our necks. We are meeting again, same time next week with other special ladies and powerful men. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for being supportive. God bless you. Bye bye.